the train that collected goodbyes. Every night at 11:11, an invisible train passed through the city of Arclight. Nobody could see it. Nobody could hear its engine. But people who were about to say goodbye to someone they loved could sometimes see its lights. Milo Hart was 17 when he first saw the train. It happened on the night his older brother, Daniel, left home. Daniel had argued with their father. He packed one suitcase, walked through the front door, and disappeared into the rain. Milo chased him to the railway station. Daniel, his brother, turned around. "I'll come back." Those were his last words. Then the station clock struck 11:11. A strange silver train appeared on the empty track. No rails, no passengers, no sound, only pale blue lights glowing through the windows. Daniel stared at it. Milo watched him walk toward the train. "Wait!" Daniel turned. For 1 second, Milo saw something behind his brother. 100 glowing hands pressed against the train windows. Then the train vanished. Daniel disappeared with it. 20 years passed. Milo never stopped looking for him. He became a railway engineer, hoping that one day he would discover where the impossible train had gone. But no railway map showed it. No camera recorded it. No station employee remembered it. Everyone told Milo the same thing. "Your brother simply left." But Milo knew the truth. Daniel had boarded something. Something that wasn't meant to exist. One winter night, Milo received a strange envelope. There was no stamp, no address, only his name. Inside was a railway ticket. Arclight. Platform 0. Departure. 11:11 p.m. Destination. Every goodbye. Milo stared at the ticket. At the bottom was a handwritten message. "You have 1 hour to find your brother." Milo ran to the old station. At exactly 11:11, the invisible train arrived. This time, Milo could see it clearly. Silver metal. Blue windows. No engine. No tracks. The doors opened. Milo stepped inside. The train was enormous. Much larger inside than outside. Every seat was occupied. But the passengers were strange. A woman held a wedding ring. An old man carried a child's toy. A soldier held a photograph. A little girl clutched a red balloon. Nobody spoke. Everyone was staring out the windows. Milo sat down. The train began moving. Outside the windows wasn't the city. It showed memories. A mother saying goodbye to her son. A husband leaving for work. A friend moving to another country. A child releasing a balloon. Every window showed a goodbye. Then Milo understood. This train didn't carry people. It carried goodbyes. A conductor appeared. He was an elderly man wearing a dark blue uniform. "Ticket." Milo handed it over. The conductor looked at the name. "Daniel Hart." "Where is he?" The conductor pointed toward the last carriage. "Everyone eventually finds the person they're looking for." Milo ran. The final carriage was almost empty. Only one person sat there. Daniel. He looked exactly 17. Milo stopped breathing. "Daniel." His brother turned. "Milo." They hugged. For the first time in 20 years, Milo had his brother back. But something was wrong. Daniel couldn't leave the train. "Why?" Milo asked. Daniel looked toward the windows. "I made a deal." "What deal?" "The train collects goodbyes. Every goodbye gives it energy. If someone refuses to say goodbye, they become part of the train." Milo stared at him. "You've been here for 20 years?" Daniel nodded. "I tried to leave. I couldn't." "Why didn't you tell me?" Daniel smiled sadly. "Because you would have spent your whole life searching. Milo shook his head. I did anyway. The train suddenly shook. The conductor appeared. Your hour is almost over. Milo stood. Take me instead. Daniel immediately shook his head. No. I'll stay. You have a life. I don't care. Daniel grabbed him. You don't understand. The train doesn't collect people. It collects the moment they refuse to let go. Milo looked at him. What does that mean? Daniel pointed toward the passengers. They're all trapped because someone couldn't accept a goodbye. The woman with the wedding ring had lost her husband. The soldier had lost his best friend. The old man had lost his daughter. The little girl had lost her mother. They weren't prisoners. They were holding themselves here. Milo finally understood. The train wasn't evil. It was a place where unfinished goodbyes went. Daniel had remained because Milo had never accepted that he was gone. Milo looked at his brother. I spent 20 years trying to find you. I know. I was angry. I know. I thought you abandoned me. Daniel smiled. I never did. Milo began crying. I don't want to say goodbye. Daniel hugged him. You don't have to. You just have to let me go. The train whistle sounded. The conductor opened the door. Milo stepped toward it. Daniel remained behind. Milo turned one last time. Will I remember you? Daniel smiled. That's the part the train can never take. Milo stepped onto the platform. The train began disappearing. Daniel waved through the window. Milo waved back. Then the train vanished. The next morning, Milo woke up at home. For the first time in 20 years, he felt peaceful. He still remembered Daniel. Every laugh, every argument, every childhood adventure. But the pain was different. It no longer felt like a wound. It felt like a scar, something that proved the love had been real. Years later, Milo became the station master of Arclight. He never told anyone about the invisible train, but sometimes, at exactly 11:11, a blue light appeared far beyond the tracks, and Milo would smile, because he knew somewhere beyond the ordinary world, the train was still traveling, collecting unfinished goodbyes. One night, an 8-year-old boy approached Milo at the station. My father left yesterday, the boy whispered. I think he's on that train. Milo looked at the clock. 11:10. He slowly knelt beside the boy. What's your name? Leo. Milo smiled. Leo, sometimes people leave. But that doesn't mean they disappear. The station clock moved. 11:11. Far down the empty track, 2 blue lights appeared. Milo looked at the boy. Do you want to see something? Leo nodded. The invisible train arrived. But this time, its doors opened, and someone stepped out. A man carrying an old red suitcase. Leo's father. Milo stared in disbelief. The man smiled at his son. I finally found my way home. Behind him, the conductor stood silently. Then he looked directly at Milo and whispered,